Hello, my name is Suzanne Dunaway, and I'm the ex-owner of Buona Forchetta Handmade Breads, which was our bakery in Los Angeles. We're going to start to make a focaccia today, which is the easiest bread recipe on earth. And everybody is in baking mode and in uncertain times and stressful times, and this is about as unstressful a recipe as you'll ever use. We start with bread flour, add yeast, salt, tepid water to the 2 cups of bread flour that I've already put in the bowl. So let's do that. Any granular yeast will be fine. If you have fresh yeast, you can use 1 cake. I measure my salt, and you can too, by putting it in the bottom of your cupped hand, like that. That's 1 teaspoon, believe it or not. And this is the water, 1 cup. I have a great spoon that belonged to my mother with a hole in it, and it doesn't slop things all over the kitchen. And we're stirring this around. You can time this if you want. It's almost done. You stir in all the ingredients really well. And with a scraper, scrape the spoon and the bowl. Here comes my favorite part. This is one of the world's greatest inventions. You cover it with plastic wrap, or if you have a lid, I have a lid that actually works, but plastic wrap like this. And it cuts. It's an amazing item, really amazing. So you can cover it like that, or you can cover it with a lid that fits the bowl, which I actually own. Now we're going to put it somewhere warm. And it's going to rise, and you're going to do nothing. You can read a book, you can garden, you can sing, you can Zoom, Skype with anyone, and everything is here in my book. No need to knead, and it's true. It's really not necessary to knead. There are many recipes in here that require no kneading at all, but this is the jewel because it takes, as you saw, less than a minute to stir. And now you do nothing, and then when we come back, it'll take less than a minute to form it, and then it'll take 10 minutes to bake it. And that's focaccia. The dough has risen. This is a full recipe. I made the half recipe before, but you'll get an idea of what the full recipe looks like for more focaccia. You take off the plastic, of course. You'll be brushing a bake sheet with olive oil. Use extra virgin olive oil. And this is the important part. The dough is very light and very fluffy. You will be taking a spatula or a baker's spatula like that, and you're going to pour this dough onto the bake sheet. I think what I'll do is just make one big one, and I think that would be the best here. Okay, this is very important. You pour the dough. You're not going to lose the air this way. This is the most important part of the technique. So it's onto the bake sheet. And now you, with more olive oil, you just very light hand here, tap it with a little bit more olive oil. This is so your fingers won't stick when I show you what we're doing. Now, take 2 fingers on each hand vertically and pull. That's how you make the holes in this focaccia. Just pull, and don't be afraid. It's really kind of fun. It has a great texture. And those are your holes. You see a little place that needs a hole, put in another hole. Now, rosemary. This is fresh from the garden. It's really quite beautiful rosemary. I just sort of put it on like this. You can chop it up if you want. I do it with my hands because sometimes it just is faster. Uh-oh, don't want the stem in there. And you sprinkle it with fresh rosemary. I think a little bit more maybe would be good. Just make it look pretty, mostly. Okay, now we have coarse salt. It's about, once again, a teaspoon. And you sprinkle that all over the top of the focaccia. and a nice even sprinkle. And that's it. Let's see, I think that probably was less than 60 seconds, but not sure. This goes straight into the oven, 10 minutes, and watch it carefully. The oven is at the highest temperature you can bake. Mine is at 275, that's a European number. You'll be baking at 450 or 500 Fahrenheit. And that's it. I'll show it to you when it comes out. Here is my finished focaccia. This was baked at the highest temperature for 10 to 12 minutes. And as you can see, it's a lovely color. It can be split and toasted also for breakfast, wonderful breakfast bread. Although if you make these focaccia in small sizes, you can brush them with olive oil and dust them with sugar and cinnamon, and they're really good for breakfast. So here is my favorite bread, and I hope you find it as simple as I do to make.